You are watching Conscious Evolution with Wes Heffernan.
And I don't know if I've ever truly lived with as much purpose and intent as I had ever in my life up until this point in time. But one of the other things that, if you're talking about the dualistic aspect of what was being shown to me, there was something else that became really important, and that is the idea of nothing becoming something, right? And you have this concept of nothing that if you try to put a word to it, it becomes something, right? So there's this illusion of duality, or this dualistic nature of life that we call an illusion, because there's nothing and there's all things, but you really can't comprehend, experience, or even contemplate nothing, right? You have to start with something.
Right.
And so what do you start with? So you keep the same letters. Instead of being nothing, you make it no thing. And now it is something, right? It is something in the sense that it's no thing. And so, get my little thing here. So the idea of no thing, zero. Zero is a thing, right? It's a number, but it represents nothing, right? So this is the closest representation of nothing that we can get, and that is no thing. And so now the idea of perspective and perception comes into play, because out of this one single idea or concept that is a zero, we can turn it into something, a one. And that's our binary code, right? Our computer systems, everything that we operate on operates on ones and zeros. But there's a trinity to this, because this not only spins this way, but it also spins this way. And so now you have space. So you have space, and you have time. And you have that which space and time exist within. And while we were at the top, when I was reflecting back and thinking of the archway, and we're sitting up at the top of the arch, and you see the shadow, or you, depending on where the sun is where that shadow is, but it's the observation point, right? And so if you are observing and you're looking down, and we're talking about a trinity of perspectives now, because me as the observer looking down on this form, right, it's a dash. For you, it's a zero, right? For Mark, it would be a one. And so depending on perspective, right, your perception of this single thing is a trinity. And that's when the floodgates opened up, literally, right? Because we're sitting here.
Is that what they say? Mind blown.
Yeah, kind of, because, well, what she began to explore was everything is information, right? It's ones and zeros. That's all. Everything is information presenting itself as something, right? And so those ones and zeros don't ever go anywhere, right? And you think of like a great flood, and I know there's a lot of different ideas and concepts that are beliefs that we have, how the Grand Canyon was formed. What happened is there's this ancient, apocalyptical, where that wiped out some grand civilization like Lemuria or Atlantis, and I enjoy diving into those, and we're definitely going to dive into those extraordinarily deep later on. But the Native Americans believe that it all began in this country, in this land, right? And we can even look back to, in some of the Masonic beliefs, and maybe not the first 3 degrees, but when you get into the grander concepts of it, and you know, this land was known as the land of the eagle before it was ever found, just as the eastern area was known as the land of the sun before it was the rising sun, and the area around Russia was known as the bear, the land of the bear before it was, you know, and so there's these concepts that exist within us almost at the cellular level, with those that are in tune and in line with desiring to know and understand them, concepts that is, that you can begin seeing things in a different way than what our current, our science is beginning to move in that direction, but what our current historians are not willing to let go of. Even with archaeology proving beyond the shadow of a doubt that life, intelligent life, existed far beyond what our historians believe now. And the only reason we know that is because we dug deeper, right? Instead of stopping at Clovis, somebody said, hey, what happens if we dig deeper? And they dug deeper, and they found more, you know, 1,000, 10,000, 20,000 years. Basically, we're back down to, you know, the Ice Age. The end of the Ice Age was when your mound builders in Ohio, the Serpent Mound, you know, that was built when the glacier was sitting right there in northern Ohio, right? And so, because someone dug deeper, right? To find something beyond what our history tells us. And that's a lot about what's going on with me right now, is digging deeper. Digging deeper for my own sake, but also digging deeper for understanding where we, all human form, where consciousness itself, where did it come from? Where's it going? Right? Where is the A and where is the B? What story's being told? And
you said glacier, so it makes me think tip of the iceberg, and we're just at the tip.
The very tip, man. You know, like going back to skipping a rock across the abyss, we're just hitting the tip of the icebergs on each one of these little skips of the 8 parts of chapter 1. But yeah, it's so the floodwaters, right? All this information that's ever been is still here. You may not see it, but it didn't go anywhere. There's still ones and zeros floating around, so to speak, and you can absorb that, right? And that was a big part of what was happening during this portion of the journey, was like, close your eyes, you can feel it, right? Like, hold your hands out. You're moving through information, and you can choose to allow that information to become part of you, or you can ignore it and just, you know, do your thing, right? There's no right or wrong.
Moving through life, you don't even think about it, right?
Right,
but if you stop and look for it, and
purpose
dig,
and intent, right? And so anyway, we get down Route 66. We did stop at, like I said earlier, we stopped at this, really, the journey began, I guess, for Route 66 at this Heart of Route 66 Auto Museum. We are here at the Heart of Route 66 Automobile Museum. Thought this would be the perfect place to get the day started. We are going to be roughly leaving from Tulsa, headed through Oklahoma City, and we'll continue down 66 as far as we can till the weather turns too bad. We do have Winter Storm Cassandra forming out there in front of us. Anyway, this is the Heart of Route 66 Automobile Museum. Hope you enjoy.
Thanks for watching. Join us next time on Conscious Evolution. Don't forget to subscribe.